I think I'm asking too much of my computer. Anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today, we're discussing who deserves to be celebrated. Um, we're going to talk about sports just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I want you guys to stay tuned, stay connected with us. We're gonna have a great conversation. Of course, you know it's Mental Health Wednesday, so we're gonna dig into the mental aspect of celebration and how we need to be celebrated. You know, the great part, it started this thing where we have a pre-chat. I know, need to have it. Just want on top of it. But uh we're on it now, we're doing it, so it's helping warm up the conversation. So it's really gonna be good. Blessings, Lisa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. So make sure you are sharing, tagging other people, getting other people in this conversation. I believe we have great conversations every single day, except Fridays with the jokes. That was for Kaneem. What's up, Mama McCoy? Great morning to you. But appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for your support financially, being a part of all that we do. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. Not belabor the time. I have my brother like no other, Mr. Who Genius, aka Matt Genius, in the building. All right. So make sure you share. If you're part of our text community, if you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. So she said Fridays are great too. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So again, we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. It's the brothers of legacy. All right. So we'll be right back after this quick intro. Let's give you a chance to get off wherever you're at watching live and share. Call somebody. Say, hey, do you know the brothers are on? They're like the brothers who? And just send them the link. That's all. Just send them the link. All right. What up, Jeff? Good morning. Let's go.
Stand up.
All right. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. Good morning.
Who genius? Who genius?
Who genius?
Gotta ask it like, the question. Who genius? Good morning. Good morning. I saw a couple good mornings that I didn't get a chance to say good morning to. So good morning, those who already said good morning.
Yes, indeed. So I just want to make a quick note. My ladies have been holding down this show for quite some time. So I'm appreciative that my brothers are finally coming on board and coming to hang out with us. So thank you guys.
That's what's up, man.
And everyone.
Shout out to the fellas.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, what's up, Matt? Morning, Matt, or Who Genius is in
the building. Who me?
All right. Oh, so we're talking about celebration. Who deserves to be celebrated? Pastor supposed to be coming through. He must be running a little late because I was trying to give him his moment to talk about sports a little bit. And honestly, some of the stuff that has brought us to this conversation. But I will say, so the information I do know is the MVP, I'm guessing maybe for the championships, we'll get clarity, is now being called. And my brothers that may know, oh, there we go. Boom, right on time. There we go. So we're going to dig into some of the reason that we're talking about that, we're having this conversation today. Let us know about the MVP award and its change. And where is it? Is it part of the championship? Or just period in every game? And good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Pastor.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yes, indeed. So I told them we're gonna get this right here. We're gonna get a little bit of sports, and then we got a little bit of sports.
That's okay.
News.
Listen, we'll have to revisit it because Kaneem not here.
I know. right.
That's all right. All good.
All right. So, tell me about what's happening with Michael Jordan and the MVP award.
Well, no, they renamed the NBA MVP award after Michael Jordan. Used to be the Kia MVP, and now it's the Michael Jordan MVP award, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
But there's been this debate of whether or not the NBA logo should be the Jordan logo because of its impact on the game. They're saying, they're for years they
yikes.
said
right.
I said yikes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation, especially when Jerry West has been the man. The image has been Jerry West for all these years. But what's interesting?
Okay, little NBA history. I didn't know that was a basketball player. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
The NBA logo is an image of Jerry West,
okay,
who was with the Laker organization for so long, right? And who is now, or is he still with the Golden State Warriors? But I think what people are saying is, if Wilt Chamberlain didn't get it, why couldn't Michael Jordan get the logo? Because the Jordan logo, the Air Jordan logo, dominates the entire sports world. Right. So, and the fact that he played in the NBA, why wouldn't the NBA change the logo to Air Jordan, to the Air Jordan logo? So the image. So when I read that article that they had made the adjustment naming the MVP award after Michael Jordan, I was like, I didn't celebrate immediately.
Okay.
It was a bit of a letdown. And I was like, well, why are you mad? Because I kept thinking about the logo.
Okay.
Right. So it begged the question, have we appreciated Jordan enough? I'm talking about Jordan on the court. I'm not talking about Jordan and Nike. I'm not talking about, child slavery. I'm not talking child worker, child labor. I'm not talking about anything like that. I am talking about Jordan. The image is owned by Nike. Yeah, the image is owned by Nike. I love that. But what I'm saying is you can't tell me that after all these years, it would not benefit Nike.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
That the NBA would have that.
Right.
There's
100%.
something that could have been worked out many years ago,
right,
to make that happen. So what about Durant? Let's not do that.
Somebody just asked that question.
Yeah, Richard hit you in the throat. Like what?
I would love Reese. Reese, I know your research. I would love to get Reese's. I mean,
wow.
It has to be more than the fact that Nike owns the logo.
Right.
Nah, I mean, that's a contract, man. They can work that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be worked out.
Definitely. Just give me a piece of it every time you show it. So that's interesting though. So
yeah,
it goes to the question of, one, is he deserving of that honor? Now, what do you know about Jerry West? Like, was he the greatest at that time?
No.
I'm asking the question. Okay.
How many championships did Jerry West win on the court?
1.
Okay.
He went to 9 and won 1
on the court.
Okay, so how
1 NBA championship for Jerry West?
Did he help form NBA? Like, was he at the boardroom table? Like, okay, this is the.
No, he just got in early.
He was with the Lakers when they were winning, but not as a player.
Right.
That's what I remember.
As a player, he has 1 championship. As a owner, executive, he has plenty. But as a player, he has 1.
Right. Okay.
And as a player, Michael Jordan never lost in the finals.
I got you. I mean,
is there anyone else that has never lost?
Anyone else going once?
I don't have them facts and figures in front of me.
Yes, Monopoly.
Yeah, but we're kind of becoming that, but that's a whole nother conversation. And it's just the amount of grocery stores been closed, the amount of radio stations that are around. Yeah, we could have that Monopoly conversation later. So we're talking about the celebration though. So is he deserving of it? You know,
he is deserving.
Fans would say yes. The LeBron lovers would say no. You know, Jerry West losses are not his fault though.
Really? that must be someone who lives on the West Coast. Listen, I have lived on the West Coast. I am a Laker fan. I'm a diehard Laker fan.
He ran into a juggernaut.
Yeah, but that's the issue. If
Right.
someone's better than you, you should not be treated as the best. And
Right.
there should not be a logo. You should not represent the entire NBA. I believe that the person who is the most dominant in the finals should have that.
All right. I'm gonna throw this comment up.
Never been another other than Michael Jordan like that.
Shifted a little bit, but he said I would choose Russell over Jordan. He beat racism and the Lakers at the same time.
Right, but I'm only talking about basketball.
Basketball though, like if we talk about the game, yeah. I mean it's debatable. It's debatable, but let's talk about being celebrated, the worthiness of celebration.
Well, on that note,
yeah,
they created a new award, Clutch Player of the Year.
Okay.
Right? And guess who they named that after? Jerry West.
Ah, come on. Come on. Listen, man, I don't even watch basketball that much, to be honest. So this is not.
You don't even watch basketball and look at your reaction.
Yeah, like, come on. Like come on.
A non-basketball watcher is saying, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, I don't. Listen,
that's how bad it is.
It is bad, you know.
Yeah,
I kind of pulled away from it for a while now, but Jerry West, come on, man.
Celebration is recognition. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a celebration recognition, not validation. Okay,
right. Absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right, Richard.
But doesn't it? Like, okay, let's talk about Jordan. Like, I mean, if my logo is now the NBA logo, doesn't that validate something?
Listen,
if I become podcaster of the year,
got my nomination right here, man. Podcast of the year.
Isn't that a validation? You know, because that's how we look at certain things in our eyes, right? When people like introducing Matt Genius, 5-time world champion, 3-time bestseller, Nobel Prize nominee 5 times.
The awards. There we go. The awards. Let's go.
I'm just saying, like, when you hear stuff like that, like trainer of 65,000 therapists across this country.
Facts. All facts. All facts.
I'm just saying, you're like, what? You're on the edge of your seat, like, who is
Pour
this
it on
Negro?
me. Pour it on me.
You know. So I think I truly believe celebration is like a validation, you know, and in a factual sense, maybe not, you know, because I might have just got to a space before you did.
Right.
But it always on the outside, I feel like it's validation. How you guys feel?
It is a certain level of validation.
Right.
If I'm going to recognize you, I am validating something. Right. I'm validating you as someone unique. Right. Not necessarily validating you as the best to ever do it. Right. I do appreciate the fact that Hakeem Olajuwon, you'll get no argument from me with the new Defensive Player of the Year award being named after Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay. Okay. So several awards were being changed at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting. I'm going back to something that Richard typed in here, you know, recognition versus validation.
Yeah.
You know, what did Michael Eric Dyson say on a panel about racism in America? He said, one writer says all may not be guilty, but all are responsible.
Okay.
Am I right? Now, I know that's an odd comparison, but it just made me think this random thing popped in my head.
You're gonna land the plane. I know you're gonna do it. I know
Yeah.
you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do
Up
it.
there right now. So.
When you could, and I need y'all to work with me here. He says recognition, not validation. So if I recognize you, I'm highlighting, I'm saying you are the man,
Right.
right? You are the man for the era that you
Right.
played,
Right.
or you are the man for
All time.
over all time,
Right.
right? So there's an argument to be had because Reese says, what about Bill Russell?
Right.
Okay. Now here's the difference. Here's my take. I do not discount anything that Bill Russell ever accomplished, or
Right.
Wilt Chamberlain, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What I will say is this: if you're 6'11" to 7 feet tall, I expect you to be great. Kevin Garnett said, if you are over 6'10", you have nothing less than 20, 10, and 5 for you. That's what he said.
Wow.
Kevin Garnett. KG said,
Ah,
20,
man.
10, and 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5
Oh,
assists,
man.
or
Right.
you're a chump at 6'10" and above.
Right.
That was his standard. He said, for
Wow.
my career at 18 years old, he said, it's got to be 20, 10, and 5 at 6'11".
Right.
People said, well, you're 7 feet tall. He said, no, I'm not. I'm 6'11".
Right.
I'm not 7 feet. Don't give me that. So everything I do, I'm doing at 6'11", and you should be 20, 10, and 5. That makes me one of the all-time. It doesn't make me the greatest,
Right.
but I ought to be recognized, not validated.
Right.
Why not validated though? I don't understand the removal of the validation. What's the
You're
big deal about
validated
validating?
as one of the greatest, but not the greatest.
Yeah, I
Mm.
understand that, but you can still be validated. I think once you said removal of the validation, sometimes I think what we're doing is saying
I think
that-
I think there's a level of rejection for others. Who have
it doesn't
accomplished-
have to be. It
I
can
know,
be both
but-
and.
but it's gray. That's the point that it's gray, right? Just like it's gray to say racism in America. When you think about racism in America, who's guilty? When we talk about reparations, right on time, E. When we talk about reparations, we're talking to all of America.
Right. Right.
Am I right?
Okay.
Why am I talking to all of America? Because if you have benefited
Right.
because of the treatment of one particular race,
Right.
you may not be guilty, but if you have survived and benefited from it, you're equally responsible because you didn't do anything to change it.
Okay.
Is that a fair
Okay.
argument?
I mean, I got you
I'm not
right
making
there.
you guilty, but you can be responsible.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Okay. No, I'm with you on that. I'm trying to.
Oh yeah, the
See where we're
referee.
going.
There's a gray area there. Now I know.
Okay.
when
Oh,
we're
the gray
talking about racism. We're talking about inequality, and we're talking about a sport, entertainment.
Right. Right. Right.
But what I'm focused on are the gray areas.
Right.
No, it's not. Oh, it's not a fair argument.
That's what he says.
We need Reese on here. This is an argument of gray area.
Put the comment up. I didn't see the comment.
inclusion.
What happened?
Okay, my bad. He said no, it's not a fair argument. I mean, I'm in terms of like between celebration and validation.
Right, because how many
That's where
people
we at.
validate you versus celebrate you?
Right. I think it's almost, to me, it's almost like one and the same. It's almost
You
one
feel
and
like
the
it's
same.
one and the same. Okay.
I feel like we're-
And
so-
so what you're saying is, so my question is, how many people are guilty versus responsible?
Guilty of doing something or
And
responsible.
responsible.
If you're benefiting from it, are you guilty or are you just responsible? Is
You're
guilty and
responsible
responsible the same
in
thing?
that case.
I could.
No,
it
it's
can-
not.
it
Recognition
can
and
be.
validation. That's me landing the plane, man.
There you go. I was trying to help.
Is it?
Nah, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Not the same. Okay, why not? Let's go.
Well, like Pastor said, like on the racism piece, that's a little bit more extreme. A great example, I think, but still more on the extreme. So guilty and responsible, I think, is a more obvious difference. The validation, the celebration, there's some differences in how they're carried out, but they're first cousins, no doubt. And people could feel like you picking what's that phrase? Apples and oranges or whatever you say.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's done differently. You know, 6-man of the year. That's validation. You know, my boy, I saw what you did, boy. You did
The
that.
numbers can validate it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But six
So
man of the decade, 6-man of in all history.
nah.
Now, I'll recognize you as one of them, but you're not the one.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm hearing is that validation is reserved for the GOATs, the best of the best.
Right.
For all time, but not for
Celebration.
season.
No, I'm not. I think he's thinking validation is the one that is
It's
for
the higher honor.
Is
the
the higher.
validation.
That's what.
No, because I'm saying like you can be validated like 6-man of the year for 2022 or 2021, 2022.
Mhm.
That's you all day because the numbers show it. There was no one that outplayed you coming off the bench, 6-man. Nobody scored more points. Nobody had more rebounds. Nobody had more assists. You're the man. Your player efficiency rating topped every other 6-man in the league that year. Boom, you're validated. Okay.
But I do both though. I do both simultaneously. I think for me it's different because I think when we're trying to make this this hat fit everybody, that's where the confusion comes in. For me, I do both. When I celebrate you, I'm validating you.
Right.
Yes.
Same thing for me, you know.
The commentators will tell you one is stats and the other is the eye test.
Okay.
Some people win from the eye test. When I look at the screen, when I look at the game,
Right.
that's the best player on the field. He may not have the best
stats, right?
but
Like
that
Dennis
right there
Rodman.
is the best player on the field.
Like Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, Chauncey
Right.
Billups, affect the game greatly, but not on the stat sheet.
Right. You can't win without them, even though they don't score the most points.
So they're valid. So how do you celebrate the role players? How do you
Because
celebrate the guy that's not the guy?
Because you positioned your position. Like if I was celebrating all the people in the church, man, these floors are like spotless. So whoever's the one that's cleaning,
I think that makes people chase title.
Somebody said this. I can't remember who it was when they talked about the NBA draft. They said, who would you draft first? He said, Magic Johnson. He goes, yeah, but what if you needed a center? I draft Magic Johnson as a center.
Yeah.
He ain't the tallest man, but he's the most gifted player in the draft. And I'm taking him no matter what.
Right.
But you need a center. Well, he'll be my center. What is that? Is that recognition or validation?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, because you recognizing and you're celebrating his skill set to be able to do.
That's not. I don't think that's where the celebration comes in, though. That's
Right,
why these words right here are
the word.
You know,
I know we're doing the wordplay. Let's
What's the highest form of honor? What's the highest form of honor? What word are we using for that? I agree to any word, but which word?
Right now, the highest form of honor to me is the NBA logo.
No, I'm talking about like as far as word
validation.
Celebration. We're celebrating.
Celebration is but that's the championship trophy.
That's
the
the
highest form of honor.
The celebration is.
That's not honor though. That's you have. Okay, it's honor in the sense of you have to earn it. But when it comes to celebrating and deserving things, isn't that I'm asking? Are we talking about something that one gives to another? I can't give you an NBA title. You earn that.
Right.
Like just like you can earn respect, but I cannot like you.
Right. The title's earned. You're right. That's good. That's good.
So which one desires you to like the person? Celebrating them or validating them? None of them do. I don't think so.
You got to celebrate people you like, don't you?
Not really.
Right.
Nah.
He said, "Why? Let's go because we got to clear this up." So, why is it important to delineate between celebration and validation? I'm missing something. So, all right. So let me just say
because we're talking about. Okay, so we're talking about the celebration, if you would, of the best to ever do it.
Right.
And
I'm great
about the validation of the best to ever do it because the validation.
Am I the best? I think the celebration is we see you. You did a great job. I think the validation is to actually prove that you're the best to ever do it.
I feel like the greatest celebration is Hall of Fame.
Anymore.
Hall of Fame is the eternal celebration.
Okay, I see where the issue is. The issue is that we have a basketball analogy.
Right. We got to
lock in the understanding of how we move around, celebrating and validating. Because we started off with the NBA. We started off with the NBA MVP trophy being changed to Michael Jordan. So we got caught up in
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the sports analogy of it.
Right.
We got to
Yeah.
get back to the day-to-day,
Yes.
you know,
Because I don't play
celebrating
ball.
and validating. You don't play basketball?
Nah, not like that. I mean, I can get
That's why
out
we
there.
never talk sports, man, on here.
You don't play basketball at all, man? You
Yeah,
get
No,
a-
I mean, I can play. I can play.
You
It
gonna go
doesn't
to the
sound
court
like
and be
it.
like, I
He
got
doesn't put
next.
the ball in the net. but he's never
I
gonna
got
do
next now. I'm like, I'm
That's
good.
not
Chief.
you.
I'm good, Chief. You'll be like, yo, son, are you doing something? Fine, I
Eh.
throw the ball. Give me the rock. Let's go.
Nah.
That doesn't sound like you play.
I get pulled in.
And
I
then,
get
and then-
pulled
and then
in.
the very next game, he's told, "We got it."
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
You know what?
Don't worry.
You know what?
Hey,
Ain't
good
that
run,
bad.
man. Good run. Hey,
I'm
good
not
run.
that bad.
Johnny's here now. Johnny's here now. We good.
I'm not that dude. Like, woo, woo, you here? Thank God. See, why you got to treat me like that? Don't be like that.
If people ask me, can I play golf? If Sean Rollins is not next to me, I'll say yes, I can play golf. If Sean Rollins is next to me, I'll say I know how to play.
Right?
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. You, Pat, you be like, yeah, we got next. We got next.
Nah.
Hey, you already know. Look, I have had my Michael Jordan experience playing with one of the greats, right? You know Sean Rollins can play golf if he and I are on the same team and we win.
Right.
We didn't win because of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I had to show up. I had to do something, but I'm not the reason we won.
You get Richard. We just got a little lost. I mean, I liked where we were going, but it just the analogies.
We weren't
Because
defining
I was
There you
sticking to sports.
Yeah, he wasn't
and
letting
we were
go.
trying
He's
to
like,
get
I got my
somewhere
sports.
else.
Hold
And-
on.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
sports is great in the sense of they have awards set up. Life doesn't have awards set up. You know what I'm saying? We don't have enshrinements. You know, AD was a real good father. Let's go put his statue out there on I-20. We don't
need to, man. We need to.
We
need
do.
To. We
Once
need
you
to.
get in the street,
Hey,
you get a
that's
street.
called,
man.
that's called a tombstone.
A tombstone. Yeah. That's your recognition for
We
life,
need
right?
to, man.
You
That's
get
what you get.
you get the boulevards.
Right.
You get Martin Luther King
When
was
your
a
kids get
citizen.
up.
He
They
got
need to.
a
They need to
statue.
name. They need to name a street after the greatest father of all time.
Me?
Who is
You know?
that? Yeah, how do you
AD, right? AD.
Who determines that?
Yeah.
You're
know,
putting it all in a dash, right?
That's
So-
interesting for me.
Yeah.
That's
What?
interesting.
What portion?
As far as the point that you're making, like we don't celebrate the day-to-day
The common
achievements,
man.
the common man like that, and that's interesting because I think the common man sometimes may need that or desire that way more than
Bill Cosby.
way more than the effectiveness of, let's say, another sports player, athlete, something like that, receiving those validation.
Right.
Common man need that.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I know I do.
It's yeah, I appreciate everybody appreciate it, but it's kind of like, yeah,
I
who
think
does that?
I feel like
I do it.
Oh man, good one, Reese. He said Bill Cosby. Then he said Al Bundy.
You keep going down, Reese. What's
That was
going-
good.
Come back up, man.
That was golden, Reese. That was golden. I never thought
Al
about that.
Bundy. Oh
Listen,
man, why
I'll be holding it down though.
married
Yeah,
with children, bro.
The
Yeah,
language.
Bill Cosby is a real person. Al Bundy is a character.
Character right. Oh, look, Peter Griffin.
Reese, what's
Keep
going
going.
on?
Keep going.
You just keep sinking down the hole, man.
The real fathers.
Reese pulled out a list.
Homer
If you
Simpson.
think
I
outside
know.
of sports and you start looking for citizens that have been honored and rewarded,
Yeah.
it's a little hard pressed, and it's usually mounted with like a moment. That's why you see so many streets and statues named after those in the 60s, right? Like
Right.
those 60s was like real, like what, 6 major assassinations, let alone all the lynching and hanging, but 6
Right.
major assassinations and all. A lot of transition for America, Black America, just America period, right? But that's when I can really think of a citizen that really gets like honored. You know what I'm saying? Now I know there's somebody who had a mayor, a bishop, a preacher in their local neighborhood that something might be named after. But when it comes to sports, everybody watches it, everybody has an opinion, and everybody, can vote.
Good point.
But
Great
I think
point.
I feel like like for me, my household, my celebrations are my birthday and Father's Day. I think it gauges, kind of where you're at. Like you know, the thought put into these
Does
days
it?
for me. Because my Father's
Yeah,
Day
see,
is
I differ
Does
from
it
that,
engage?
right?
Yeah.
For me, listen, did your wife cook last night?
yes,
Did she cook on your birthday?
yes.
Okay.
How is that not how is that not recognition?
What you
Well,
mean? Like last night, cooking last night?
Like, yeah,
Celebrating?
I mean,
Yeah,
Is that
right.
celebrating the person?
anytime your wife goes into the kitchen for the purpose of preparing a meal that you can enjoy,
I
that's
don't know though.
recognition.
That's survival though. You got to eat,
No, you got to eat.
right? But
You
that's
can
like,
feed yourself. You can cook for yourself. She's
but
doing it
that's the
for
basic.
you.
That's the basic duty. Like, in
It's
that,
still voluntary.
I
Come
love
on.
it.
yeah,
love
it's
where
not.
this
But
is
I mean,
going,
that's
man. Let's
not.
do it.
What we're talking about today is the highest honors, right?
right?
Yeah, but
right.
listen, but spiritually,
Preparing what I
biblically,
want.
in everything, give thanks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh no,
You
no,
know,
no one's knocking the small things.
right.
Yeah.
So when you eat the meal, do
Right.
you say thank you,
Yeah.
or do
Yeah.
you say you were supposed to do that?
I don't understand. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I
how is
got
that
it.
not a celebration?
100%.
It is, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the highest honors. Like,
Yeah.
can there be more?
Celebration.
No, the question is who deserves to be celebrated?
Right. Right.
Why are we talking about highest honors then? I'm thinking we covering. See, when
Right.
Michael Jordan hit his game-winning shot, Utah, I think was his last game, right? Well,
Yeah.
no, that's his last game as a
No,
Bull.
that was the
But
last. That was
final
the
as a
last
Bull.
pivotal moment.
Yeah, that was MJ, right? Because we
There
don't
were
count
several
Jordan
low
before
points that came-
'91, and we don't count him after the Utah, right?
Yeah.
For those sports people.
Because after that was
Um,
like, I don't know what he was thinking.
and even in that, right? Like, are we being heralded like Mike, right? They love Mike so much that we don't even look at his bad times. We don't. He's the greatest ever to put on shoes, but we don't talk about Larry Bird whooping up on him, right?
Right.
Why? Because we love Mike so bad
Right.
that we blocked out even his worst moments. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the point. When Larry Bird beat up on Michael Jordan,
Cooking is
who
acknowledged.
was in their prime and who was just beginning?
I don't
Michael Jordan was still growing. Larry Bird was already
Okay.
there.
So
I don't understand the difference between that and but when it's the standard, because we're talking about GOAT, right? When you're a GOAT, should everything be on plate?
Listen, okay. Let's pull away from basketball for a second. Let's pull away.
We need a different show for basketball, man, because
Yeah.
I love what's happening right now.
Let's pull away. So when I
How you
talk
doing?
about we started with, don't just let me just get my little monologue here. So we started with basketball and we talked about Michael Jordan and the logo being changed. That's huge. That's big. So that's honoring, you know, what is the work that's been done, you know, what he's doing, what he's done on the court, whatever. So we're talking about our lives as far as celebration, right? So there's two folds I want to get to. So with you guys, you know, can you celebrate someone else for their greatness or, you know, their good stuff that they've done, as well as how you feel about receiving celebration, you know, from outside sources calling you the greatest of all time, you know, whatever space is in, maybe greatest of right now or greatest I've ever seen, you know, because that's relative, because right now you're the greatest of all time until next week Matt Genius comes and schools you or something, just like, nah, you were yesterday the GOAT, you know.
The reason, AD, that I keep bringing up the highest honors is because almost what Pastor said earlier. There are some things that you by your word said are your common duties, right? So
Right.
there's some things we all deserve to be celebrated, right? Who just doesn't? So let's qualify that. If you're
Right.
breathing
Let me take
and
this
not
away.
taking nobody else's breath,
Making it harder.
you deserve
Right.
to be celebrated.
Right.
But when I'm saying when we go to highest honors, we're talking about just like that second level. There's
Right.
celebrations that you will get that okay, I'll tell you right now, there's a few presidents that I like, and I have a few that's least favorite. Let's say 45 was my least favorite at this moment, right? If
Right.
he comes into this room right now, I must stand. It's the
Right.
president of the it's the former president of the United States. His
Yep.
position alone carries a celebration, an
Right.
honor, just
Right.
on his position.
It's
I
honor.
don't care if I come in here and cuss everybody out. I better get the big piece of chicken. It's I'm dad. I'm big daddy. I'm daddy in this house, and the big chicken is mine. Is reserved for me unless I decide to give it up.
Right.
So there are some things you'll get just cause. You all right? So
Right.
so there are some parts that come with this that we all get celebrated on. But I'm just saying, and maybe deserve is a strong word. And I guess
Right.
this is a conversation where terms definitely need to be defined.
Right.
But deserve, I'm just saying, who gets that? Who Michael played whatever the sport is, the person played and they did well. But you know what? I know we clap for him and paid him $1 million every second, but he deserves even more. Who is that person? How do you move into that rank? How do you get highest honors? Because he is not the only person to ever pick up a basketball. You are not the only person to ever father children. So who gets to move past common appreciation?
So I think you're talking, to me, you're going beyond skill set on the court and you've moved into citizenship for the sport.
That's what is okay. So whoever can be a great ambassador.
Because there's so many that played the game.
Right.
So if you yeah, we're shifting. So, but again, I'm gonna bring it home. Watch this. Watch this, because you talk about fatherhood.
Yes.
Fatherhood is relative.
There we go.
To those that you have fathered.
I was gonna say that, right? Because it doesn't matter.
Right. My family considers me to be super daddy.
Right.
But I'll guarantee you, AD's children don't consider me super daddy, but we're both dads.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I can never be their favorite because I was never theirs.
Right.
Right. So, but in sports, we're all watching the same thing and we all get to evaluate this from the same perspective.
Right.
And the only difference is being a fan of the particular team that you played for.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan played for the Bulls. I grew up in Illinois, just outside of Chicago. I grew up a Bulls fan.
Right.
I believe when I supported the Bulls, he was the greatest player to ever live.
Right.
But now I've been a Laker fan for 25 years.
Right.
Right. Is Michael Jordan still the best to me? Yes, because the eye test and the numbers, never being defeated in the final. So I believe he deserves recognition as if not one of the greatest players. Now, it's subjective. Someone could say Wilt Chamberlain, and then we have to start breaking it down. Well, Wilt Chamberlain was 7 feet tall.
Right.
How does the citizen move to that rank? Are you saying the citizen could
So
never do that?
Wilt Chamberlain
could never do that because we don't all observe him? AD could never be father of the neighborhood, father of the year, father of the state. He could never be in the Dad Hall of Fame because he's not my father. I'm asking.
I think it's effect in who you're touching. It's people. It's like it's saying, and that's a great comment. The way what Reese said. So he said, Jordan is most celebrated, talked about compared to playing in the league. That is why the argument for the logo, because they see him and he's a level of comparison. Because once you were like a standard, oh man, you like Jordan, because remember, and oh man, you like Tyson, like that's once you become a standard. I think that's
so
where
in order
that
for us
higher
to celebrate
level of
Reese,
celebration happens.
or to celebrate Matt, or to celebrate you, y'all got to move. I got to start saying you're a daddy like AD. So if you move there, then that's how you become.
And
which
honestly,
is why LeBron James is compared to Michael Jordan.
Right. And like if you think about even fatherhood, like if you know fathers that have produced very successful, well-rounded children, you're like, dang, son, what were you doing? We came from the same background, we making like almost the same money, same neighborhood, but you were able to do some amazing things with children, the kids in your household that, mine aren't like struggling, but they just like basic living life,
Sometimes,
like the Manning family in the NFL.
Yeah, royalty. So like some of it comes with a moment. Like if MJ was in the 60s and it wasn't as much video coverage, you feel me? Would it be? There's a guy. It's not my culture necessarily. It's a hip hop element, but it's not from my era. What's old boy up there in Queens or wherever he's from? Dapper Dan, Dapper Don. He was known for flipping all these clothes and stealing all this copyright infringement stuff and making all these Gucci jackets and turning all that stuff, right? He was a part of an era. He happened to be doing something that I'm sure several others were doing throughout other neighborhoods and just in New York, as a matter of fact. But he happened to have a clientele that allowed him to be known, right? So he has become the standard, but it was only because he was known. Right. You could, it's never pushed, it's never tested, but there was nobody else to like
get noticed.
To do it. So grandma down the street from Italy, who only had 2 pair of shoes and was sewing all the Ferragamo stuff, she don't get no love, right? Because she didn't have that kind of clientele. Right. Oh, you'll never be. Is it Don or Dan? You'll never be Don.
It's Dapper Dan.
You know what I'm saying? You'll never be Dapper Dan because blah blah blah. But like it's only because Dapper Dan was like the only name that I can think of from that era.
Yeah.
If you really want to give him, Reese can tell me better, 88 to 95.
Yeah.
If he was the only one from that era
Yeah.
that had that lane,
Yeah.
but you can't tell me he was the only black man turning Gucci into material into jackets.
Right.
But
Right.
but he is now the standard. But he was the only. Who else?
But,
We
but
don't
that, here's the thing. But here's the thing. I don't know Dapper Dan. Never heard of him.
Never heard of Dapper Dan?
Nope.
You seen his clothes? All the rappers had it in the 80s
Right.
and 90s.
But here's the point that I'm trying to make. Back to the NBA. Listen, there's also there's a new Sixth Man of the Year award.
I'll be trying, baby.
Listen, there's a new Sixth Man of the Year award named after John Havlicek.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Who's
Okay.
John Havlicek?
Thank you. That's my point. If I say his name and someone doesn't know him, then I need to challenge him being the greatest to ever do it.
So let's pause for a second
Because you have to do the research to validate.
This is why I was kind of stayed in the background, because we keep doing this as far as who deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah.
You know? And then we get to the this constant, the greatest.
Yeah.
I think that right there. So
Yeah,
you don't have to be the greatest to be celebrated.
Right.
So let's just scrap that. Greatest of all time, the GOAT conversation. When
Right.
it comes to the common man,
Being celebrated.
common woman, we need to be celebrated. And I'm
That's
not talking
why I'm
about
thankful
on
for
the
the- that's why I'm
standards.
thankful
I'm not
for the
talking about
prepared
on
dinner.
the standards of a
Right.
national level. I'm not talking about the national level. I'm talking about in our communities, for those who do know, who do have
Right.
the track record,
Right.
who can see. And a
Right.
community could be as small as 2 households, 3 households, 5 households, a couple family members, a church,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We celebrate people all the time
school.
you never heard of.
Or school. I don't have to hear about you for you to be great. I don't have
Right.
to know everything you do for you to be great.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remove all of the, but looking for things that doesn't necessarily measure up to whatever standard we have for the person to be celebrated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if we slow that down a little bit, because on my end, this is my perspective really quick, and I get out the way. Celebrating feels good to me, man. Like
100%.
I like celebrating people. I'm like, I see you, bro. Hey, man, I see you. I see you. You did that,
It's hard to receive though, Matt, because sometimes people celebrate you on what they see, the result, but they don't know that you slipped on last Friday.
So stop. That's you. That's
Right.
that's an internal thing. I think
No
we
doubt.
have to be okay with being celebrated for the things. Let's say, for example, right? This one example I heard, which kind of really changed my understanding. Einstein, those who love him, those who don't, went in front of a class one time, solved a bunch of problems on the board, missed one problem, and the class was like, "You missed that problem." He's like, "That's the problem right there. We are so quick to identify what we missed rather than what we actually got correct."
Absolutely.
Right.
Good.
So
Good.
sometimes just acknowledging the fact, man, hey, bro, you showed up to work every day to week on time.
Right.
That's my
Celebrate
my
yourself.
job.
Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. But
That's what you're
celebrate
supposed to
yourself.
do.
Yeah.
See, that's
I
what I'm
feel you,
saying.
brother.
It's
I feel
like
you.
that's what we're supposed to do. The training is, if you don't do that, then who are you?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But you did it, so that means you must be, something, because that's not what everybody does. Even
So-
if it helps you
Yeah.
reinforce a behavior that goes. Boy, I know we're gonna get to it.
All right.
I know it's gonna come. Participation
Yes,
trophy,
indeed.
right? I know it's gonna come up.
What's reworded?
I'm
Is
so
re-
proud
is
of you. You
repeated,
were
and
only
that was
late
the-
twice this week.
See how you phrase that?
Yeah.
He phrased that in a negative way. Like, oh,
Why it gotta be
you've only
sarcastic?
been late, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of it. And that's a
Right.
part of it as far as the minimization sometimes.
Right. Because
Of-
that happens
of
every
what
day
we do,
also.
of what we do. So
Right.
I enjoy celebrating. I enjoy receiving celebrations, and I think it's a way to actually move us towards doing things that will be consistent with our own greatness,
Yes.
our greatness.
Matt,
Yeah,
you talking real talk, but like I disagree with some. Okay, what you saying I'm with. But I do think there's sometimes, and man, this is, and I hear my own self. I don't want to be diagnosed on the show. First of all, let me put something
Hey, I'm not diagnosing everybody.
well, I
Anyway.
don't appreciate hearing about myself on here.
I'm gonna put you on the couch. There we go. We're on the couch right now.
I'd rather
Let's go.
stare at the sun than stare at the mirror.
Let's go.
But it's sometimes I feel like folk over celebrate. I don't know the right word.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like
That's
like
fine.
the
That's
the,
fine.
the
Participation
posting.
trophies.
No, not even the I'm with participation. I get it. It's different, but I get it. But I mean, I'm thinking more of these people who post stuff, right? You just got the Bentley, you post it, and then 2 months from now, it got repossessed, so you don't post it no more. But like you live for the post, you feel me? Got the shoes, got the red bottoms. There was an event plan. I won't call her name because I believe she's local, and she was talking about this icon that she met, and this lady who's posting and living the life and girl boss or however they, whatever the phrase is now. And she reached out to that person to speak at a conference she was putting on, small conference. She was putting on, and that wasn't no shade, but I'm just saying it was small conference. And
that little conference. Okay.
No, I'm trying to say she a local person. But it did sound like I'm saying kudos if you got a conference coming. And she reached out to the old girl and she was like, yeah, I'm not in a good spot right now. I'm bumming it at a friend's house. I'm on the couch, blah, blah, blah. I can't make it. This ain't a good time for me or whatever, right? And she said what really bothered her, not that the person failed, but that morning she had posted herself in the street modeling like some red bottoms, like the need to floss for the likes, the need to be celebrated. I got a little issue with.
How do we get there?
We get there because it's a need to be celebrated. They living for the likes, and I think it's an open indulgence.
Let's not talk about they. Let's not talk about they. Let's keep it with you. What is your desire for celebrating?
When the thing has been accomplished, right? I would like to be celebrated.
There you go. And that's enough. I think sometimes when you put your eyes externally way too far away from your reality, sometimes it makes you have a different relationship with that event. Right. Celebrating is a great thing. It's just saying that I see you, I acknowledge you. We do that all the time. And when I say I do it, I don't mean I'm going out passing out trophies. Validation from the hood where I'm from is just seeing a brother and being like, I mean, man, I see you.
Yeah.
Right.
I see you. Hey, I see you. That's it. All you have to, but we don't even do that.
Right.
Yeah. We don't even do that.
And I get what you're saying, Matt. And I'll say this. I love the shift. As much as I was on the 3-letter acronym.
Don't do it.
But here's the thing. I completely agree with you. Isn't that what affirmations are?
Okay.
Right. That's the form of celebrating, though.
Like the fact that you're here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, to me, that should be how we live our lives. And that's how we live our lives when we're trying to create a positive atmosphere, a positive environment, a nurturing environment for our children. We raise them like that. And then they also become pessimistic.
There you go. That's all I'm asking. Is there a danger?
How do we become pessimistic?
Let's go.
Because the same person that gives you the affirmation, they hear you being negative to someone else.
What?
And
how do we even do that? How do we get there?
Right. Yeah. That's what. Listen, you're talking about celebrations, right? And we're talking about the ebbs and flows of life.
Right.
Who deserves to be celebrated? Everybody deserves to be celebrated. Right. If I'm listening to what you're saying, right?
All right. So here's where I think we can really look at this in a way where we can see it. You know what happens when people aren't here, when people are gone, we tend to give them all the flowers. Yo, man, he was a good dad. He did show up to work on time that one time.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I've been to funerals where people come on the microphone and dog a person.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, how dare you? Right. But it's like, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you do have the opportunity to build, to share, to allow somebody to be validated in a way that makes them want to move forward, have a desire to wake up, do it. It doesn't cost you anything.
Agreed.
It doesn't cost you anything. And if you like, what Reese said, what if being celebrated makes you uncomfortable? Right. That means you have an internal issue now.
Right.
With being validated. And I understand that too. We got to remove that. You are deserving.
Right.
We all are deserving,
I'm not against it being deserving, and I will admit that it's internal. But I guess I'm saying for me and the standard out, because I can only put on you what I put on myself, right? My standard is celebration at a point. That's why I was saying the highest. I'm not talking about the common everyday duty that we do to celebrate.
Right.
That's what I was saying. You can receive that by position alone. So I'm just saying, like, how does Trump move from me standing in honor of him coming into the room to Mount Rushmore? That's what I'm saying. Like there's a gap and there's a
Stick to
difference.
you. Stick to you. What would
Okay,
make
so
you?
for me,
what would-
I
yeah.
would feel comfortable being celebrated when the task is done. I don't celebrate getting an A on the
process?
quiz. I celebrate the degree. That's all I'm saying.
See here, so
Gotcha.
so and I believe
Gotcha.
I agree with Matt on from this perspective. We get so focused on the destination that we ignore the journey.
Right. That's all.
Right.
It's harder to
Man.
get to the degree if you don't congratulate me for doing my homework.
Listen, Pastor, I was just saying before we got on, like I have a son, and he's crawling, he's moving, he's trying to stand, he's doing all these things. Every time I see him do that, I celebrate him, I acknowledge him.
Right.
And what does he do? He like, oh, you see me?
Let me go. It's time to go.
You know. But we
Hey, watch
lose that.
this.
We lose that sense of pouring into each other for fear of some misconvoluted transaction that isn't real.
Is there a danger with a premature celebration? Is there such thing as a premature celebration?
But why is that the part of the conversation? Why?
Because
why
I'm
does
saying
celebration
you can take somebody and celebrate them, and it can bring them down the wrong path. Let me ask you this: I've seen players have a really good 2-a-day summer camp, whatever y'all had in y'all region, right? Got so much celebration, they got laxed and faulted during the season. That's all I'm saying. Like if they were hungry, when Coach Chocho was cussing them out and dogging them and telling them they want nothing, they pushed harder for his approval. Yes, don't even get into that part. I know that's messed up, but I get that, and that's psychologically messed up. But there was something that said, I haven't got there yet. Let me keep pushing. You guys have never seen anybody be celebrated too soon, and they put off the gas.
Where do you think we learned that from?
I'm not sure.
Right.
Or the other question is it my fault for celebrating you that you didn't continue your efforts?
Yes. You're my coach. You're my father. You're my leader. Yes, it's on you. You manage me. I'm a resource for you. You failed me.
Wow.
And that goes to the general understanding. That's why there's a lot of issue with celebration, because we have these skewed, outlier understanding that sometimes when you bring it in the greater conversation, then it sounds like we don't have a general idea of what this whole idea is about.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't need to put you on a big stage. I don't need to tell the world about my celebration of you.
Right.
Sometimes in my car, I ride around, I see a black man on the bus stop. I slow down. I love this. And I blow the horn, I'll be like, boop, boop. And he'd be like, hey. We just had an exchange. That exchange doesn't have a value. That. You can't put a number on that. He don't know me, I don't know him.
Right.
But when we see each other, be like, I see you, brother. Hey. You know what happens to me a lot too? When I'm at the mall, when I'm outside with my kids, and they see my big family, they see all of us. Yeah. A lot of the brothers, older brothers, which I love. They see me. They wait till my wife passed by, and they be like, "I see you, brother. Hey, you."
Yeah.
They celebrated me, right? They don't have to give me a trophy. They don't have to, put my name on lights. But that's a validation. That's a celebration. That's an acknowledgement.
You mean nobody says, "What you doing with all them children?"
I get those. I get those. All those your kids? All those your kids? That's all your. Right?
Where's the mother?
I get that.
Okay, right.
But I don't. The point is the celebration. Let's really talk about celebration.
That means that's my thing.
That means a lot to me as a young father. As a person who takes this privilege serious. When an older brother see me and they validate me,
right?
Man, I'm like, I'm pushing that stroller.
For real. I didn't know that on today's show I was gonna need more definitions. Like I would have filed that under acknowledgement. That's different for me, but I see what you're saying. Man. Like celebration to me is the highest form that you can receive for an accomplishment or even an effort. So but that acknowledgement, I'm with you.
Let me ask you like this, and we talked about this also before we got started. So we talk about celebration, right? And sometimes the challenges of just receiving celebration during the journey. What if your name is not called in a celebratory moment? So and I'm bringing church up because it's probably where I've been at all my life. So I want to celebrate, or even here, I want to celebrate Pastor and Matt for doing that thing. Yeah. You just straight up not mention you for whatever reason. I forgot.
I'll share. I'll make a confession.
Okay.
I was invited to an event, and people were being celebrated.
For
something that they were doing for someone else. right?
Right.
And I don't want to go into details because it's a small world.
Right.
I was responsible for doing the same thing.
Same thing. I
I
validate.
lived my
Same
life doing the same thing where I was invited to an event where other people were being celebrated. A group of people were being celebrated individually for something that I was doing.
Right. Same
Right?
thing. Yeah.
I got invited to go help those people celebrate, and my name was never called.
Right. Same thing.
All right. I felt some kind of way about that.
Right.
Okay. Why?
I had to get over myself.
What was
and
the feeling though?
recognize, bro, this isn't your moment.
What could you describe the feeling? What was the feeling?
That's good, Thomas.
The feeling was and Matt, you can put a label.
Yeah, I don't like
you
Matt
can,
being on.
you can
when
put
we
a
talk about
title on the emotion, right? But I'll
Let
tell
his
you what
vibe
I
out
was
right
feeling. I felt like
Mute me. Go ahead.
I felt like I don't know why I'm here.
Yes.
And then I
Okay.
had to come to the realization I'm here to celebrate my peers.
Right. Right.
And my peers don't know that I'm a peer.
Right. Right.
So I
That's
could
right.
feel nothing towards the people that were being celebrated
Celebrate.
except celebration.
Right.
My issue was with the person who put it together. How do you
Right.
invite
They
me
knew-
here
they
and
knew
you
your life.
know my life
They knew that.
and not
Right.
acknowledge me?
Right. Right.
That listen, and I think you kind of landed that plane now.
Yeah.
and that plane now, because I think
Very good.
generally, and Mr. Reparations, listen, man, I'm happy to be here, and I think
No.
I think
I'm glad you hit you.
Just
Hold on,
make
hold
your
on.
comment, bro.
hold on.
Yeah. I thought I was all right before every show before you get on. I think I'm okay. Yeah, just make
No,
a comment. Let's
and
move
I'm
on.
not even.
No, it's all good, bro.
What I'm saying is, man, generally, all of us have a intrinsic need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether we acknowledge it or not, for love,
Yeah.
Right.
for affection, right? Love, affection, and affirmation. I think the third one is love, affection, and acceptance. Love, affection, and acceptance, which all adds up to different types of validation, celebration, acknowledgement, and so forth. All of us have that intrinsic need. What happens is that we go throughout life, and life teaches us
That you don't always get it.
that you don't always get it,
Right.
that you're not
Man.
always deserving, that you shouldn't do this, that what I'm saying, you're not the one. Listen,
Yeah.
I got a story that I'll tell only after we get off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need everybody in my business. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
feel you.
But the point is, when you don't get acknowledged, and you should get acknowledged, you start to feel that,
Yes.
right? But what we're not taught at a very early age is how to celebrate ourselves. So that when the
good.
invalidation come, when it doesn't
That's good.
come, and it has not come, and sometimes you can go a
Right.
very long time and nobody says, Pastor, I see you. I appreciate
Yeah.
what you do. I appreciate those home visits. I appreciate those phone calls. AD,
Right.
I appreciate you checking in with me. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that turn us into, Matt? Like a life without celebration turns you into
Hey, listen, you said don't diagnose, right?
Right.
a do pastor.
He's a new
Brian
pastor.
Brian
Here-
McCoy. What is
this
it?
is-
You said
Hey,
don't diagnose.
listen,
Yeah.
I had to wake up to what exactly Matt is talking about. I had to. You said I'd rather look at the sun than the mirror. I had to learn.
I heard that. I didn't want to say no, but that was
caught
like,
that. I caught that. I caught that. And so I learned to appreciate my reflection.
I should.
Okay.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to learn to appreciate who's looking back at you in the mirror.
Yeah. I love me, man. I look in the mirror and I gotta say, you're the real MVP.
Yes.
You are. You're the real MVP, man. You did that. You know?
Yes.
Right.
Bro, you took
Absolutely.
your kids to school in less than 30 minutes. MVP.
Right. Right.
You know, so it's those things that I feel like we have to start being comfortable with acknowledging within ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for anybody to give me flowers. It will always be nice now. I love flowers. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't wait for somebody else to say, hey, man, good job, Matt. You know,
Yes, you do, Rollins. And I love you for that, man.
there you
That
go.
brother, every time he goes out of town, he comes back with an acknowledgement of Brian McCrory.
Wow.
Nice.
Every time he leaves town and comes back, he brings something back. And some will be like, well, man, let me tell you something, man. That is like hitting the emotional lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
someone to just think about you
Right.
and validate that they thought about you while they were enjoying
There you go,
themselves.
man. There you
Yeah.
go.
Bro.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for us, Ephraim, man. I'm going to say this because I've heard this not just from you, I heard this from a lot of brothers. It's hard for us to look externally and celebrate others when we have the difficulty of celebrating ourselves.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You can't, you can't see greatness outside when you can't see it on the inside.
Yeah.
That's why greatness have to be way above something that you can't even measure to. That's way above your clouds. Then you can say that's great. But if somebody is clear around your circumference of influence, on your level, you'd be like,
You know what?
let me see some highlights. Let
Tell
me
me
see.
if you've never seen this before. Oh man, that dude did that thing. He did that thing. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
100%.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Just look right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who deserves to be hated? Yeah. Next episode. The 10 people you should hate. Yeah.
Right.
At the top of the list. At the top of the list. Here goes the tears. Self.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just start with number 2. Start getting your list ready. Let's get Reese on here tomorrow. We'll just go straight to number 2. Everybody, number 1 is yourself. We can put the devil number 2. So let's just start at 3.
Oh man.
Yeah, and watch it
Okay,
be
so-
like it ain't gonna be nobody teacher. It's gonna be like some politician. It's gonna be some
Something.
public figure. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So can we go back to most improved player of the year?
Oh man, there we go, man.
All right.
Go.
Go back to a
Mikan.
pastor. I'm with you.
George
I just
Mikan.
who?
It's the George Mikan Award.
I didn't know that was the name of it. Okay.
Is that an R&B singer? Who is that?
See?
Yeah, George Michaels.
George Michael.
See?
Dude, yeah.
Everybody can't
I
see.
cried.
Matt, you just said everybody can't be great.
Got me.
All right,
You got
so
me.
we
You
are-
got me. Checkmate. Right there.
We're gonna get ready to roll out of here. So I just want to put this comment up. He said it earlier. He said my stand is Rush Limbaugh. People have called me the Black Rush in my career. I will say that's exactly how I described you. Someone had asked me
man.
like, "What's Reese?" I was like, "He's like the Black Rush Limbaugh."
Reese, I caught the wrong episode, man. I got to listen to some more. Because
Nah,
Rush
it wasn't-
Limbaugh
it
on my
wasn't-
five,
The thing
number
is,
5. Hey,
see,
gotta
that
check out
has
his stuff.
nothing to do with how you feel about Rush Limbaugh.
Right.
It's got everything to do with Rush Limbaugh's impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
and its accomplishments.
If you compare yourself to Rush Limbaugh, I'm gonna group some of his politics and some of his rhetoric with you.
Right.
So Reese, I'm gonna list a few more episodes. The one I caught was a good one, but
When is Reese on usually?
Nah, he's good though. He's good.
I caught him on the YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
but when is he on? What day is he on?
Put your time.
Reese,
that
put
you,
your stuff
I think
in there,
he goes. It looks like he goes live.
Oh, he's not on this show. He doesn't come on this show. He has his own show.
He has his own
He's
show.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
come
got
on
his
here.
own show though. But
Well, he
we've had
does.
him on.
He has been on here. I'll say that.
Yeah,
he'll probably
Reese only
back,
come on with us when he want to mess with
too.
us, man.
But he just he got his own show.
All right, well,
Oh.
I'm gonna check Reese out.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Hold on. Can we pause? Look at that.
Oh, Mom, okay,
I
Mom.
saw
Thank
Reese.
you,
Thank you.
thank you. Because it's now 10 o'clock and I have not been celebrated all day. Thank you.
There you go, man.
Shout out to Mama McCord, man.
Take that in. All right. So that's he said he's on 8 p.m. Eastern Monday through Friday, and that's his site.
Reese on the
I give
radio.
him.
Reese on the
Okay.
radio.
Shout out to Reese. Reese, we ain't
Reese
even
on
gonna
the
charge you
radio.
for that one, Reese.
Reese on the Reese on the radio. I got it. I'm gonna check it out Monday through Friday, 8 p.m.
Oh,
I'm
Jeff.
like
Jeff
the
wanted to give him
comment
PST.
section up, Reese.
We're not out there, Jeff. not PST. We EST. He said AD comment. I rated things. All right, so we're gonna get ready to get out of here. We appreciate you for being here. No problem, Reese. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for commenting. We got a little therapy session going on. Appreciate that
Yeah,
as well.
Man, what's
Get
your
some
cash app, man?
definitions of
I
clarity.
can't get all that for free, man. Go on, just send it to me.
You still gotta be mad, right? Thank you for all the clarifications and digging into this conversation. This was good. This was real good.
Yeah.
All right, so we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Can you celebrate
Thank you,
me
Thursday.
for recommending this topic?
Okay, let's do that. Great topic, Pastor.
See, AD, this is what I was saying.
Look
Like,
at-
some
look
of
at-
the
look at
sports
AD's
can-
face.
They can
Look.
be,
Great topic.
Right.
Great
Maybe-
topic.
Yeah,
yeah,
Exactly.
that can be that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I didn't want you to keep going to sports because AD gonna kick all the sports off. There's so much meat in the subject. You know what I'm saying?
It-
So much
it is.
personality.
It
Sports.
is.
I love.
I agree.
That's a
agree.
different show, though. That's a different
I
show.
agree.
I'd
Because
love
it
to
kept
tap
taking
in.
us.
Jeff.
I wouldn't follow, but it kept pushing us over there.
Put that comment up.
Are we still on
That
live?
comment deserves to be put up.
I got you. I got you.
What was
Pass
that?
is the bomb.
Pass is
He's
the
the
bomb.
Oh,
bomb.
no, Jeff, come on.
Because
You like
I'm
Mama Corey. I need
explosive,
something.
son. I'm
Send me something, man.
explosive, son.
I need something, Jeff. Think of something. Come
All
on.
right, we closing out. All this love. All this love. So we
Oh,
appreciate
no,
you
don't
guys.
close out before I get a comment. bro.
Appreciate you.
I'm emotionally vulnerable right now. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I need something.
So we look forward to
There
seeing
it
you.
is. I'll take it, Jeff. I appreciate it.
There's your participation trophy.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
we out.
knew that one.
You got
How do we diffuse discrimination?
Start slapping everybody. Everybody,
Right.
everybody
We're
who
thinking
is
the same thing.
discriminating,
Look at that.
slap all of them.
You gotta
Tell
just
everybody
smack 'em.
calm down,
Smack 'em.
and then then
Say
you
something,
move on.
Just smack them. All right,
I'm with you,
listen,
Ricky.
988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. So again, we appreciate you. Thank you, Matt, for being on these Mental Health Wednesdays. You guys make sure you follow Matt Genius. He is a licensed therapist. He's a
Artist.
licensed motivator. That's my title for him. And he is an amazing rapper. Yes, that's what I said. A
Reach-
rapper.
Matt, what's the I couldn't find
He
you
said
on
slap straight.
iTunes.
Right.
I mean iTunes. On
Spotify.
yeah, what's the
It's still Matt Genius.
Matt Genius.
But when I'm
M-A-T. Genius.
Genius. Matt with one T.
He
Genius.
is Matt, the lyrical genius.
The lyrical G. There we go.
I'll take it. Thank you. Look at that. Flowers.
Right.
I'm on what's the thing on iTunes? I can't find you on that one. Is that
On iTunes?
You have a blurred background, E.
I can't get that
So
off
we
either.
can't see it.
Listen, man, it's easy. Matt Genius. You can't miss it.
See that?
That's it. That's me right there.
Oh, I'm misspelling it.
There you go.
Hey,
There
that-
it
is that tie-dye?
It sure is.
Wow. I love it.
Gene.
It's a throwback, man. It's a
love it.
throwback to
Brandon
like
Gene
that.
and Is. Yes, he's on Apple Music as well. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Apple Music. I keep saying iTunes.
And 933 to borrow 1500. Ask for Kaneem.
Look, don't dial 933. I don't know what you're gonna get, y'all. Don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff, you got to give us a little bit more. Oh,
All right,
you talking about
guys.
that 1500 for the we got to run
We see
Kaneen
you
that
guys
1500 back.
Tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be safe. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. And we will see you in the AM. Peace out.